Emily had always been the picture of success. She had everything anyone could want: great grades, lots of friends, the perfect social media feed, and the kind of talent that turned heads. She was the student everyone admired, the one who balanced schoolwork, extracurriculars, and a social life with what seemed like effortless ease. But behind the scenes, Emily's life was far from perfect. Every day, she juggled the weight of expectations: her parents' hopes, her friends' admiration, and the constant pressure to outdo herself. The need to maintain her perfect image had become suffocating. She pushed herself harder every day, running on little sleep and consuming herself with tasks, all while pretending that everything was fine. One evening, after yet another intense study session, Emily sat at her desk staring at her laptop. She had just finished her last essay for the week, an assignment that had consumed most of her time. It was well written, meticulously researched, and of course deserving of an A+. But as she clicked submit, instead of feeling proud, a wave of exhaustion and frustration washed over her. Why does it never feel like enough? Emily thought as she slumped in her chair, staring at her grades and social media posts that were filled with success stories, perfect selfies, and accomplishments. Am I the only one who feels like it's all a little too much? For a moment, she felt the weight of the world on her shoulders, as though she couldn't breathe under the expectations. She was so used to the idea that she needed to be the best at everything, perfect in every way, that she'd forgotten what it was like to just be. The next day at school, Emily found herself sitting alone in the cafeteria, staring at the empty seat across from her. Her friends were busy talking about their weekend plans, but Emily couldn't focus on anything. The pressure felt heavier than ever. She had been going non-stop, trying to maintain the perfect grades, the perfect image, and the perfect life. And yet, deep down, she knew something wasn't right. She wasn't happy anymore. Just as she was lost in her thoughts, her friend Sarah walked over, noticing the quiet sadness in Emily's eyes. Sarah had always been the more relaxed of the two, never obsessed with perfection. "Hey Em," Sarah said, sitting down beside her. "You okay? You've been kind of off lately." Emily hesitated, wanting to say everything and nothing all at once. She forced a smile. "I'm fine. Just tired." Sarah didn't buy it. "You know, you don't have to be perfect all the time. Nobody is. You don't have to carry all of that on your own." Emily stared at her, her eyes welling up. She had been pushing so hard to meet everyone's expectations, including her own, that she didn't know how to stop. "But I have to be perfect. If I'm not perfect, what's left? What if everything falls apart?" she whispered, her voice cracking. Sarah leaned forward, her tone gentle but firm. "Perfection isn't real, Emily. You don't need to be perfect for people to love and respect you. Everyone has their struggles, their flaws. It's okay to be human." Later that night, Emily lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying Sarah's words in her mind. For the first time in months, she let herself think about what it would be like to stop chasing perfection. To let go of the tight grip she had on every little detail of her life. She thought about how much time she had spent obsessing over grades and appearances, only to end up feeling empty. Emily realized something that felt both freeing and terrifying. She didn't need to be perfect to be enough. The next day, Emily made a choice. She decided to slow down. She wasn't going to quit everything or stop trying, but she was going to allow herself space to breathe, to make mistakes, and to take care of herself. It wasn't going to be easy, but she was ready to stop living for everyone else's expectations. She was ready to start living for herself. She took a walk in the park that afternoon, something she hadn't done in a long time. The cool air filled her lungs, and the simple beauty of nature reminded her of the things she'd been missing. She didn't have to be perfect to enjoy a beautiful day. She didn't have to have everything figured out to feel at peace. As the days passed, Emily began to feel lighter. She stopped checking her social media constantly and let go of the urge to compare herself to others. When she made a mistake, instead of beating herself up about it, she laughed and moved on. She took breaks when she was tired and learned to say no when she felt overwhelmed. One evening, after a particularly hard day, Emily sat with Sarah at their favorite coffee shop. She felt more relaxed than she had in weeks. "You know, you're right," Emily said, taking a sip of her coffee. "I don't have to be perfect. I've been so focused on meeting everyone's expectations that I forgot what it's like to just be me." Sarah smiled. "Exactly. You're more than your grades, your achievements, or your Instagram posts. You're a person, and that's enough." From that moment on, Emily lived differently. She worked hard, but she also made time for herself. She allowed herself to be imperfect and found joy in the messy, unpolished parts of life. She spent time with her friends without worrying about how she looked or whether she was performing at her best. Slowly, she began to understand that true success wasn't about being perfect. It was about being authentic and finding balance. And while Emily still strived to do her best, she did it for herself, not for anyone else. Message: perfection is an illusion, and the pressure to be perfect can drain your happiness and well-being. It's okay to make mistakes and take breaks. True success is about finding balance, not being flawless. Your worth is not defined by your achievements or others' expectations. Embrace your imperfections and live authentically. Word of the day: juggled. Meaning, to manage multiple tasks or responsibilities at the same time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.